By performing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All these fine places for the people, Wrigley Field.
Well, hopefully the Cubs will have the Reds singing the Chicago Blues by the end of the weekend. We'll have all the action, Reds and Cubs, next.
Wrigley Field.
Menards. At Menards, you'll find big lumber yards, big selection, and big savings. McDonald's of Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. Honda. Test drive a 2009 Honda today at your Honda dealer. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Dedicated to giving you the security to experience wellness everywhere. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on.
Welcome back inside the friendly confines. While the Cubs were gone, it was pretty busy in these parts as Wrigley Field hosted 3 huge concerts, 2 by Elton John and Billy Joel. Rascal Flatts also performed last weekend as well. And the outfield held up pretty well. Roger Baird and his great grounds crew worked extremely hard as they had this place set up for a concert for 9 straight days. So had to replace just a couple of patches of sod, but for the most part, it looks like we're ready to go. It's one of those areas in the right field corner that was redone, and just to the right of center as well. Oh, good try. Good try with ice cream.
That junior slam dunk one in there.
Dusty Baker's Reds just got swept at Dodgers Stadium. They dropped 11 of their last 15. They're season worst 6 under 500 and a season high 6 games out of first place. And let's check in on their Southwest starting lineup. They're banged up. Chris Dickerson's going to play right because Jay Bruce is on the DL with a broken wrist. Taveras is in center. They have Votto back off the DL. Phillips at second, and Encarnacion spent some time on the shelf this year. Johnny Gomes in for Jason Nix, who was a late scratch because of back stiffness. Ryan Hannigan's catching because Ramon Hernandez is out. They just got Gonzalez back from the DL, and Aaron Harang will do the pitching. You got all that?
I think so. One thing I know for sure, this is the Cubs defense today. Soriano, Fukudome, and Bradley across the outfield. Ramirez and Terrio will man the left side. Fontenot and Lee over on the right side of the infield. Iron Man Coy Hill behind the plate today for right-hander Randy Wells. I mentioned in the open of the show, he's won 5 of his last 6 starts, including last time out, a 5-inning outing against the Washington Nationals. Gave up 7 hits and 4 runs, but his team scored some runs for him. Good to see for Randy Wells. He's pitched extremely well this season.
Well, this umpire crew worked the Burley perfect game yesterday. Mike Riley, in his 33rd year, the crew chief will call balls and strikes. Eric Cooper down at third was behind the plate, not only for yesterday's perfect game, but for Mark Burley's first perfect game. Good old number 56. I know you're good friends with Eric Cooper.
Yeah, he also called Hideo Nomo's no-hitter back in April of 2001, and he ejected me from a ball game when I suggested that his strike zone was as big as the world. And that was enough to get me sent to the showers very early in that game, but as history has proven, Eric does call a big strike zone.
And Mike Riley calling a strike to Dickerson, run away. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Wind is blowing out of the southwest at 9. Oh, 2 from Wells. Got him. Called strike 3. Good sinking fastball from Randy Wells.
Good day to keep that sinker down. We mentioned that wind blowing straight out today. Perfectly painted on that outside corner at the knees. That's not a pitch that very many hitters are going to do damage with. Dickerson just took it and hoped that Mike Riley missed the call.
Not going to be easy to keep the ball in the park today for the pitchers as Willie Taveras digs in. Dickerson and Taveras have only combined for 3 homers. They're trying to get on base for Joey Votto, who's by far the most dangerous hitter in this lineup. And he will bat with a speedy Taveras on base. Anybody who wants to steal some bases today, they better beware, because both Coy Hill and Ryan Hannigan have been excellent lately behind the plate.
Coy Hill has been an outstanding thrower throughout his major league career. Ryan Hannigan, as you mentioned, filling in for the injured Ramon Hernandez, has thrown out 14 out of 30. That's 47%. So you better make sure you get a real good jump and pick a good pitch to run on if you're going to try to steal on these 2 catchers.
Now Joey Votto spent some time earlier this season on the disabled list due to depression and anxiety in the aftermath of his dad's death last year. Taveras was faking a steal. Now he'll make the turn and head to third as Votto singles through the hole, and the Reds have runners at the corners with only 1 out. Votto actually had a very high batting average when he went on the DL, and he's been hot since he returned, hitting .346, which is actually below his season average.
Taveras had a break, stop, and then started again, and with his speed, still easy to make it to third base. Taveras with 19 stolen bases leads this Reds team in that category.
Brandon Phillips with the Cubs in double play depth. Ground ball. They'll try to turn 2. It goes 5, 4, 3, and that ends the threat. Randy Wells didn't have to throw many pitches, just 7. Gave up 2 hits, but no runs, and the Cubs are coming up. First 6,000 children through the gates received an exclusive Cubs plush bear from Build-A-Bear Workshop.
Give it to your sister.
What do you think?
Some Reds fans here. And a kid with a Cardinal cap. What's up with that?
Wrong logo, wrong color for today. Got the Reds in town. There you go. That's what we've been looking for.
Set the Cubs Southwest starting lineup here in a moment as Kosuke Fukudome digs in against big right-hander Aaron Harang, who's 0-6 over his last 10 starts. Fastball high for ball 1. Randy Wells got out of a major jam in the top of the inning. Got that pitcher's best friend, the double play ball. 5-4-3 to end it. 2-0.
In the past, Aaron Harang was known as a guy that would throw that high four-seam fastball in the low to mid-90s. Try to paint the corners with his slider, an occasional curveball, occasional changeup, but the velocity on his fastball, as you can see here in the early going, in the mid-80s this year. And when you try to pitch high in the strike zone with a fastball in the mid-80s, you're going to give up your share of home runs. I mentioned he's given up 17 on the season.
Fukudome will be taking all the way. That's the first strike. Harang is 6'7", 261. Native of San Diego, California. Pretty good deal. Reds got him in 2003 at the trade deadline. And a trade that involved outfielder Jose Guillen. It's been a tough couple of years for Harang. The last 2 years combined 11 and 27. Former Cubs coach Dick Pohl looks on. He's a pitching coach. And smacked the other way for a base hit. Kosuke with a 7-gamer now. Now the rest of the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Terrio coming up. Derek Lee with big numbers against Harang, especially with the power. Ramirez, Bradley, Soriano in the middle. Fontenot, Hill, and Wells at the bottom.
Take a quick look at the Reds defensively. Johnny Gomes in left field. A late scratch was Lance Nix. Willie Taveras in center. Chris Dickerson over in right. Encarnacion, Gonzalez, Phillips, and Votto across the infield. Strong arm Ryan Hannigan behind home plate. And Aaron Harang, the big right-hander, on the mound for the Reds.
Inside to Terrio. He's hitting almost 320 against Harang. Foul ball out into left center, and it's deep, and Taveras back already on the warning track, right up against the wall. Anything hit in the air today is going to carry with the wind blowing straight out. Didn't sound like he hit it that well, but again, this is the kind of day to do that.
Yeah, it looked like he got it out toward the end of the bat just a little bit, but still chases Taveras back into the vines to make the catch. Stay tuned today. Fly ball pitcher on the mound for the Reds, and a team that has really started to swing the bats better in the second half of the season.
Derek Lee with 18 home runs, all but 2 of which have been hit at home. Fukudome still at first. The kick and the pitch. That's a strike. And a sinker right on the outside corner. Knee high. Eric with a pretty wide open stance. Just on a slider that time. 1-1.
Yeah, you mentioned that wide open stance. He starts wide open, but if you look where his feet are when that ball gets into the hitting zone, he's about as square as any hitter the Cubs have in their offensive lineup.
He's not square. He's very hip.
He's very cool.
Very cool.
Just meant that the left foot and the right foot will be pretty much in a straight line out toward that pitcher's mound when the ball is released. So it starts out a little opened up. A lot opened up.
And I think that's mainly a function of getting the best look as possible at the pitcher. Not a very natural stance. You're basically sideways to the pitcher.
Well, and I think the first player that I really noticed doing that was Andres Galarraga, as a member of the Montreal Expos. Had a wide open stance because he wanted to get both eyes on the pitcher and really get a good look at the ball as it came into that hitting zone.
Popped into short right. Dickerson hustling and calling off Phillips at the very last second. 2 down. It's a kind of day that, as a batter, and you could speak to this, where you got to really focus, right? Not take yourself out of your normal game. If you're not a fly ball hitter normally, you don't want to just start swinging for the fences. Everyone, batting coaches say try to hit line drives. If you get them up, it's going to go today.
Yeah, if you're supposed to hit a home run, it'll leave the ballpark. And, you know, good hitters, you should try to maintain the same approach that you use every day. Try to hit good, hard line drives somewhere. Now, those of us who weren't so good, we tried to lift. To swing straight up on a day like this. I'll tell you one thing, with Johnny Gomes filling in for Lance Nixon in left field and Chris Dickerson, who normally plays a lot of center field, over in right today, I don't think I've seen 2 corner outfielders play as deep as these 2 guys have been here in the first inning for everybody, not just the power hitters. And Gomes' part of it is, I would imagine he feels more comfortable coming in than going back, so he's positioning himself extremely deep in left field, and a little pop-up off the bat of Derek Lee almost dropped in between Dickerson and Brandon Phillips because he is playing so deep in right.
And Taveras can really go get him in center. He's playing deep, and I think they're thinking, well, even a blooper is going to carry a little farther today. The harangue Bob looks early on like he's going to make some mistakes today. Not hitting his spots here in the first inning.
Now, sometimes a veteran pitcher can settle in quickly. Just a matter of one at bat or a few pitches where he'll find his release point and start hitting his spots. But you're right, he doesn't look as comfortable out there on the mound today as we've seen him in the past, and he's made a lot of mistakes already up in the zone.
He's also made a lot of starts against the Cubs. He is 9-6 in his career, 5-2 at Wrigley Field, but an ERA of just under 5. Dickerson and Taveras going after it, and nobody gets it. And they're going to try to score Fukudome. Phillips with a relay throw to the plate. He's safe. Ramirez with an RBI double, and the Cubs lead 1-0. I thought Dickerson was going to catch that ball, but he never did.
We had just pointed out how deep he was playing. Just a step or two in front of the warning track out there in right field. Kind of took a very shallow line to that ball. And maybe he thought his speedy center fielder Willie Taveras was going to get over there and make the play, but because there's 2 outs in the inning, coach gave Fukudome running on contact, able to come all the way around from first base and get his hand on that plate for the first run of the game.
So Ramirez starting to heat up. He had a good game on Wednesday. Came in today hitting just .217 since returning from the DL. Now Milton Bradley. Swing and a miss. This has been that trouble area from the left side of the plate. Bradley had 2 hits Wednesday, but both from the right side. With the lefty Jamie Moyer on the mound.
You may have noticed that graphic. That was the 80th first inning run that the Cubs have, or rather the Reds have given up this year. Far and away their worst inning for holding the opposition down.
Just wide, 1-2. Nice momentum shift after the Reds threatened but didn't score in the top of the inning. The Cubs getting a 2-out run here in the bottom of the inning. Bradley got a piece to stay alive. Still 1-2. The Cardinals are in Philadelphia this weekend. The Phillies beat the Padres last night to get back to their winning ways. It was a makeup of a rainout. The Cardinals did the same thing in Washington. They won in a makeup game. That game, however, had a couple of long rain delays and got stopped in the 7th inning. It sounds like the Cardinals either have or will acquire Matt Holliday from Oakland. And as Bradley strikes out, the inning comes to an end. 2 hits, 1 run. Ramirez with the RBI double, and the Cubs lead 1-0. That's driven very deep by Edwin Encarnacion, and Soriano with a good effort could not get it. Looked like 2 balls came out of the vines. He lost the handle on the one that was hit. And there's another ball on the grass. And Soriano now will go back and pick it up as Kosuke, I think, pointed it out. Encarnacion with a leadoff double. Ball was crushed.
Boy, it really was crushed. Fortunately, some topspin to keep it in the ballpark. Soriano gives it a great effort back there by the vines. Actually kicked the ball up into the vines, and there comes the second one out. Just pick up the one closest to you and throw it back in. He juggles it a little bit, but Encarnacion was in with a double anyway. A lot of first pitch hacking by this Reds team, and we know from experience Dusty Baker likes his hitters to be aggressive.
Johnny Gomes found out late he was going to play, and he grounds out on one pitch to Ryan Theriot, with Encarnacion having to hold at second. Comes in for Lance Nix. There's a back injury. Brings up Ryan Hannigan, the catcher.
Hannigan, a guy that figures to get some Rookie of the Year votes if he continues at this pace for the rest of the season, getting an opportunity to play because of the injury to Ramon Hernandez. But we talked about his solid defense and throwing behind the plate, also carrying a .313 batting average into play today.
And Hernandez had left knee surgery and is on the DL. Former Cup Casey McGee having an excellent year with Milwaukee. Fouled at the plate, I think off his back foot. 1-1.
Absolutely right. Straight off the bat into that right foot. I don't recall ever seeing that back in my playing days or watching games before my playing days, but it seems like a regular occurrence over the last few years. Guys fouling a ball off their back foot or their back leg. Not sure what that's a byproduct of, but it certainly is unusual.
1-1 on Hannigan. Alex Gonzalez just off the DL is on deck. Cubs got a run in the first. The Reds threatened if their inning ended on a double play. Wells on a 1-1 pitch, broken bat, liner. Soriano will have to play it on the hop, and Encarnacion has to hold at third because he wasn't sure if Soriano was going to catch it or not. 2 more hits in an inning for the Reds.
That bat just explodes in the hands of Ryan Hannigan. Hits that little soft floater out into shallow left field. You see the bat go whirly-birding. Actually caught a piece of Aramis Ramirez as he tried to leapfrog over the barrel, and Encarnacion has to slam on the brakes at third base.
It's been a while for Gonzalez, over a month. And had right elbow surgery. Almost hit him. Well, I think it did. I heard something, and Gonzalez was trying to sell it. Mike Riley said no. It definitely hit something before the mitt of Coy Hill.
We'll take another look. Fastball inside. Gonzalez kind of dives in there a little bit, and maybe not. It did sound like it hit something.
Just foul past third. Now, Gonzalez had an operation on June 22nd to remove 4 loose bodies in his right elbow. You guys have to worry about those loose bodies floating around your arm. The story of Mike Redmond, who had a bottle of beer taken out of his shoulder, swing and a miss, but couldn't hold on to it. Ever have any loose bodies removed from your body?
Well, from my knees. That's what the general term they give to bone chips and bottle caps. whatever else may be floating around in the joint. And apparently a pretty clean surgery for Gonzalez to make the kind of recovery he has and be back on the field this quickly.
Back to the pitcher, and Wells is now going to toss and get Encarnacion in a rundown. Tag applied, they get him. I think it was the right decision by Wells. He kind of got caught. Do I try for a double play or get the guy sprinting home? So 2 down in the inning.
Maybe a little harder hit ball. You go ahead and turn it up the middle of the field. I'm not so sure they would have been able to turn that double play. Wells had to turn his body the wrong way. Probably would not have gotten much on the throw to second base. So he wisely spun around to his left, saw the runner heading for home, and got him in a pickle for the out.
1-2-5-1 to get Encarnacion, who also did the right thing, making Wells make a decision. So it's Aaron Harang. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, almost a bad toss to home. Randy Wells looked like he caught his cleat in the grass out there in the middle of the Wrigley Field infield. Almost threw it over the head of Coy Hill. All's well that ends well.
Good catch there by not only Coy Hill, but our production team. Easy to get out of the glove of the catcher, and all of a sudden you get a run, and it's still only 1 out. This has been pretty here for Randy Wells, but for the most part here he's been getting the job done, and he's facing one of the weakest hitting pitchers in baseball in Aaron Harang. You know, he's hitting 143, a career 087 hitter. But as you always say, anyone with a bat in that batter's box is dangerous, and that's deep to left. Soriano back on it. Can you believe that? Aaron Harang with a 3-run homer. He had 4 career extra base hits before that at bat. They were all doubles. Well, there you go. Your adage is right on the money. It's 3-1.
It looked like Randy Wells shook off a fastball to throw that slider. Not necessarily the wrong pitch, but certainly the wrong location. A slider right in the middle of the plate. And for a guy that has very little bat speed, that allowed him to catch up and get the barrel of the bat out in front of home plate and hit a line drive into the basket.
You and I have seen a lot of Aaron Harang, not only on the mound but at the plate. And of all the starting pitchers in this Central Division that we've seen, I can't think of a worst hitter. And, you know, it's not ripping him. I mean, most pitchers can hit, but he really doesn't give himself too many chances at the plate. And that one kicks away from Fontenot, and Dickerson on via the error.
You see him looking at his wrist right there. And there's an area just above your thumb on the inside of your forearm where the nerves run up the arm. It's like getting hit in the crazy bone. I think everybody's done that at one point or another in your life, where you bump your elbow on something. Well, this probably feels exactly the same, as that ball took a bad hop, hit Mike Fontenot on the inside of the left wrist. There goes an E4.
Dickerson runs. Here's a throw by Hill. Not in time. Eighth steal for Dickerson.
I'm searching for the right term to use for this Reds offense. Impatient may be a little too harsh, but they like to swing early in the count. If they're going to run, they like to run early after getting on base. And Randy Wells is going to have to do a little better job of altering his delivery to home plate and checking on those base stealers over there at first. They like to make things happen and make things happen in a hurry.
Just to put in perspective what Aaron Harang just accomplished. The home run, his first career blast, came in his 429th career plate appearance. It's only his 5th extra base hit. He came in slugging .098. He's struck out 178 times, has walked 3 times in his entire career. Now, he has been good at laying down sac bunts over the past few years, but that would be the last guy you expect in their lineup to hit a 3-run homer.
It's puzzling. I think that is best explained by the old cliche that applies to a lot of different livelihoods. Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn now and then.
Popped into left. It's been a very busy inning for Soriano, who makes a catch. And that ends the inning. Well, Harang with 2 outs hit a 3-run homer, and then all of a sudden the Reds lead by 2. But be sure to get here early. The first 10,000 adults 21 and older will receive a Cubs keychain, compliments of Comcast Sportsnet. Well, Aaron Harang works very hard in the batting cage on his hitting. It hasn't translated into a lot of success at the plate, but he's a big dude, and he's able to muscle one out of here with the wind blowing out. You'd like to think, as that drops untouched in the Reds bullpen, foul strike to Soriano. This is not a day, Bob, where 3 runs should be able to win this game.
You would not think so. Wind blowing out, conducive to a lot of runs being scored today against a fly ball pitcher in Aaron Harang. So hopefully that's just a blip on the radar.
In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. This has been a good spot for Soriano. Don't know if it really matters where he bats, but he's been able to relax a little bit since being moved down to the 6th spot. Could just be coincidental. And he'll probably be there the rest of the year.
Well, one thing we know for sure, whether he hits leadoff or 6th or 9th, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to change his approach at the plate or what he does, either mechanically or mentally. He steps in that batter's box and he's ready to swing the bat. I never really understood that when guys, I mean, it happens enough that there has to be something to it, but guys feel more comfortable in one spot in the lineup than another. I don't think your approach changes at all. You still try to get a good pitch and hit it hard. As a leadoff hitter, you're expected traditionally to take a few more pitches, maybe take a few more walks, but other than that, any spot in the lineup, your approach should be the same.
Harang with his 2nd strikeout. And letting Soriano hear about it. Here comes Fontenot. I want to welcome our servicemen and servicewomen around the globe watching today's game on the Armed Forces Network. Thank you for all you do for this great country. Outside to Fontenot. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, a lot of members of our armed forces were over in Lincoln Park last night. President Obama visiting Chicago, had some events to attend, and his helicopters were parked right across the street from our house.
That's deep. Dickerson back. Warning track. Gone. Number 8 for Mike. It's 3-2. Just have to outslug him today.
Yep. This looks like it's going to be one of those heavyweight fights where you just trade punches. Oh yeah, Mike Fondo crushed that ball. That was deep into the bleachers. Our Heineken home run replay. Good to see Mike starting to flex his muscles a little bit. We don't expect a 30 home run season from him, but you do like to see a little more power than we've seen from that second base position.
20th career home run. And for the Cubs, that's their 100th of the season. They trail by only 1. Fouled back by Coy Hill, 0-2.
I didn't ask him, Len, but I would assume that once the plane landed here in Chicago around 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening, that Coy Hill went to bed and just woke up this morning.
Yeah, Rip Van Hill was the joke, I believe, in the clubhouse. Well, he spent some time with his family on the off day. A little rest and relaxation.
I'll tell you, in an odd kind of a way, though, at that position, sometimes it feels good. I mean, it's a good kind of tired. Your legs get nice and loose, and you don't feel all tight when you get back there once a week or once every 2 weeks. When you're playing every day, not only do you mentally get into a rhythm with the game, but physically your body adjusts and you stay looser and you feel much better as you go about your business.
Well, he joked, he said, when I'm playing every day, I can eat whatever I want and work it off in 3.5 hours. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. I think Coy just asking Mike Riley, make sure you give my guy that pitch.
Well, Harang used to be just exclusively a 4-seam fastball guy. I talked about the ones he throws across the top of the zone. This year, under the tutelage of Dick Pole, he's trying to sink the ball a little bit more. Looked like what he's trying to do right there to Coy Hill. Start that ball just off the inside corner and tail it back into the zone.
Pole is watching Edinson Volquez throw off the bullpen mound before the game today. Pop up on the right side. And it's Phillips to make the catch and end the inning. Early on, 5 runs have been scored, a couple of home runs. The latest, Mike Fontenot making it 3-2 Reds. Tonight, catch the latest edition of Chicago Tribune Live here on Comcast Sportsnet. David Kaplan, Tribune writers, sports stars, and celebrities discuss the day's hottest sports topics and set the table for the night ahead. Don't miss Chicago Tribune Live, presented by Harris Bank, tonight at 5:30, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Always a good day for nachos and a cold beverage here at Wrigley Field. Joey Votto takes strike one from Randy Wells. Third inning, 3-2 Cincinnati. Each team has won 3 of the first 6. Cubs lost 2 of 3 here earlier this season, won 2 of 3 in Cincinnati. Well, we have kind of the good news, bad news in terms of Cubs starting pitchers. 1-2 to Votto, who has killed the Cubs early on in his career. We'll start with the good news. The X-ray on Ryan Dempster's broken right big toe yesterday looked very good. There's a running program that he has started this weekend and will probably be back in the rotation on Wednesday. At least that was the initial thought of Lou Piniella as he talked to the media today. Ryan wanted to pitch on Sunday badly, but the word was prudent. Be more prudent, as Lou said, to give him a few extra days. So all is well on the Ryan Dempster front. The other one is Ted Lilly has some left shoulder soreness and is undergoing tests today, so he will not start tomorrow. It'll be Kevin Hart, who was supposed to go Sunday, going Saturday instead. Rich Harden, who's been a lot better at night, was going to be pushed back to Monday to pitch the night game against the Astros. Well, now he'll pitch Sunday against Cincinnati, and then the Cubs will figure out the rest. Zeke could come back on normal rest as Votto strikes out. And then somewhere Dempster will fit into the mix, but not quite sure how long Ted Lilly is going to be out, and hopefully, Bob's nothing serious.
Yeah, hopefully nothing serious at all. You have to wonder if maybe it's at least somewhat related to the left knee injury. We talk about that all the time with a pitcher. You injure a part of your lower body, and it always tends to work its way up into that throwing shoulder, throwing elbow, or lower back. Yeah, hopefully it won't be an extended period of time that the Cubs will be without Ted Lilly.
And it sounds like they don't think that it is related to the knee issue. So we'll certainly pass along any updates on Ted whenever we get them.
That's why pitching coaches fill out their projected starters weeks in advance, but always in pencil.
One and one on Phillips, who ended the first by grounding into a 5-4-3 double play. 2-1. I think the one thing this does, or this tells you, is we've heard this a lot. Well, when this team gets fully healthy, it may not happen all year. And you just kind of have to go with what you have. You can't count on being 100% in terms of the roster, maybe the rest of the year. Every time somebody comes back, somebody else gets hurt. Fukudome's playing deep and not able to get there as Phillips picks up his first hit of the afternoon.
Well, the other reality is, Len, you can't use injuries as an excuse because every team has injuries. Look up and down the rosters, American League and National League. Everybody is missing some key pieces or has been missing some key pieces. And that's where the depth of your organization comes in and the ability for other guys to maybe pick up some of the slack when you do lose some key people.
One on, one out as Wells fires to first. Phillips back in plenty of time.
Phillips, another base stealer. His percentage isn't great. He's stolen 14, been caught 7 times, but he definitely has base stealing speed.
Fouled back to the screen by Encarnacion. 1 strike. Well, the Reds have had all kinds of injuries on their infield. Every member of the starting infield has missed time this year. Should have to throw a catcher into that mix. Ramon Hernandez. Encarnacion with a chip fracture in his left wrist.
And more recently, it's been an outfielder on the disabled list that the Reds appear to be missing quite a bit. Jay Bruce, who was leading the team with his 18 home runs. Big time power source in the middle of that lineup. Was hitting for a low average, only 207 at the time of the injury, but when he made contact, it went a long way.
Yeah, it's a big one, and the Cubs will see the Astros for 4 starting Monday. They'll be without Lance Berkman, who has a sprained left calf. The Reds lead on a 3-run homer from their pitcher, Aaron Harang. And he's given up a run in each of the first 2 innings. Called strike 3, caught the inside corner. Well, from up here, that looked like a funky pitch. Was that a changeup or was that a backup slider? A slider, huh? 79 miles an hour. Had some weird movement at the end.
You know, it looked a little bit like a straight changeup.
Yeah.
The movement on the pitch, I'm not quite sure what that was, and apparently neither was Edwin Encarnacion. Sometimes those are the best pitches you can throw as a pitcher. That slider that doesn't break, or the changeup that moves the wrong direction. Because hitters see the rotation on the ball. They've seen that pitch before, and they expect a certain movement on that pitch as it gets into the hitting zone. And when the ball doesn't do what it's supposed to do, that's a very effective pitch.
One and nothing on Johnny Gomes. 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Phillips runs, and he's safe. He got in, and no argument from Fontenot. Must have missed the tag. So the Reds are 2 for 2.
Haven't even seen the replay yet, Len, but I guarantee you Mike Fontenot took that throw in front of the bag at second base. This has been an ongoing issue. Actually, he's right in the baseline. I stand corrected. Ball was there in plenty of time to beat Phillips at second base. An awkward angled slide into the bag out there. It's tough to tell whether he actually made contact with Phillips or not, but when a ball beats the runner to second base by that large of a margin, he's usually going to be called out.
Well, there was no argument at all from Mike. So I just think he missed it.
Getting back to the middle infielders, Ryan Theriot, Mike Fontenot, Andres Blanco when he's been in there, Aaron Miles earlier this season. For some reason, the Cubs middle infielders tend to take the throw from the catcher in front of the base at second and then try to swipe that tag all the way back to where they were when the play started. Go to the bag, stay at the bag, let the ball come to you. I know that's something that Alan Trammell has worked with the middle infielders on. Going back to last season, there were some issues with that problem.
The 2-1 caught the outside corner, 2-2. Well, Coy Hill might get some more chances today to extend his caught stealing streak to 5 straight games. Elias reporting the last Cubs catcher to have it caught stealing defensively in 4 straight. Joe Girardi back in 1990. Good block by Coy. Full count, 3-2. Speaking of Joe Girardi, his Yankees are hottest team in baseball. They've won 7 in a row, and they lead the American League Eastern Division by 2.5 over Boston. And he struck him out. And that ends the inning. All 3 outs were strikeouts. They get a hit, no runs. Reds lead 3-2 midway in the 3rd.
Off double to left field. We've seen this happen a few times here at Wrigley as Alfonso Soriano goes for the ball. A second one drops out of the vines. Fortunately, he had a bead on the one he needed to pick up. He dropped it a second time, but ultimately got it back in. That's today's Coors Light Freeze Can.
Fukudome airs it out to left. Gomes back toward the well, off the wall. Gomes thought that ball was going to get out, and again, the ball that appeared to be catchable. Leadoff double. He looked up, and the ball actually hit the vines.
Gomes is a guy that's on this Reds roster more for his bat than his glove. He's used mostly as a pinch hitter this season, and yeah, he gave up on that ball a little bit early right there. Hit about chest high into the vines right there, but apparently didn't know where he was on the field. Decided the best approach was to back off and play the carom.
Corner men come in against Terrio. Runner at second, no outs. That's the tying run. Low and outside on a slider.
The Reds expecting a bunt from Ryan Terrio that time. Encarnacion drawn in at third. Votto way in at first base. See if he's as aggressive again on this next pitch. Boy, that would set up perfectly for Terrio to slap one by him into right field if Votto comes in that close again.
Ryan, a career .347 batter against Cincinnati. Inside 2-0. Kosuke with a single and a double. Scored in the first inning on a Ramirez 2-out RBI double. Comes Harang. Inside third, 2-1. Johnny Cueto will go tomorrow for Cincinnati. It'll be Micah Owings on Sunday, but we may see Owings before Sunday because he's one of their top pinch hitters off the bench. Like Ryan was trying to swing late. Hit that ball toward right.
Has tried to stay in on the hands of Ryan Theriot here, getting to hit the ball to the left side of the infield, which would force Kosuke to hold his ground out there at second base. Now with 2 strikes, see if he goes for the put away pitch, something down low and away.
With a fastball, 3-2. Hasn't won in almost 2 full months. May 25th against Houston. 6 losses, 4 no decisions since. Pass to Harang. Phillips is going to throw to first. Boy, Kosuke got off to a late start because he thought Harang was going to get it. But fortunately, it wasn't hit hard by Theriot. If it had been hit hard, I think Phillips throws to third.
It's one of the toughest plays for a base runner at second base. You're taught on a ball hit to your left, it's okay to advance to third base. On a ball hit to your right, you have to hold your ground. The wild card is the guy out there on the mound. If Harang does feel that Ryan Theriot's a little chopper, then Kosuke would have been fine. He was back to second base. But once the ball gets past the pitcher, now you got to go like crazy to make it from second base to third base and not get thrown out by Brandon Phillips. And that time Kosuke was able to do it.
They're going to bring the right side infielders halfway in and keep Encarnacion and Gonzalez on the left side back. And Phillips backing up. So really Votto, only guy in. Encarnacion maybe in a step or 2 at third. Anything on the ground up the middle should get Fukudome to the plate. See Phillips sneaking in, but I think he's just trying to manicure the dirt, stay away from some bad hops.
I'm just guessing here, but I would assume Mike Quade told Kosuke Fukudome, make the ball get through. You've got a real good run producer, especially with 2 outs in the on-deck circle. So even if Derek Lee doesn't pick up that runner from third base, you still have Aramis Ramirez with an opportunity to do it with 2 outs.
A 1-1 on the way, a pop-up right down the right field line. Dickerson to catch. Fukudome hustling, and he's going to go back to third, and that's the right call. Dickerson fired a nice strike to the catcher Hannigan.
Wow. I'll tell you, that's about as far down the third base line as I've seen a runner tag and try to score and then change his mind. Dickerson got caught underneath the ball, couldn't get a lot of momentum, but made up for it with a strong throwing arm. Had Ryan Hannigan known that Fukudome had stopped to go back to third, he might have been able to catch that ball and fire behind him for an out, but Hannigan was expecting a play at the plate, and that gave Fukudome enough time to get back to third. And now it is going to take a 2-out base hit or a 2-out something from Aramis Ramirez to get him home from third.
Well, here's the question now for the Reds. And you have to be really careful on a day like this of putting extra guys on base because of the home run potential of anybody in the lineup. But do you go after, as you said, one of the best run producers in the league in Aramis Ramirez, or face Milton Bradley from the left side, considering how much he struggled?
Well, that's not fair because we've seen Milton Bradley every day. For me, it's an easy decision, although you are putting the go-ahead run on base. I have to believe they're just going to pitch Aramis very carefully, try to get him to chase something out of the zone. But if they walk him, I don't think they care at this point. everybody knows what a struggle it's been for Milton Bradley from the left side of the plate. And to be quite honest, there have been no signs of improvement at all over the last couple of weeks from the left side. Right-handed, it's a different story.
A 1-0 to Aramis. This ball was up a little bit, but in the zone, 1-1. Big cut. Fouled it back to the netting. Another game going on right now. All big this weekend in Detroit. The White Sox are trailing the Tigers 4-1 in the bottom of the 8th. That's game 1 of a day-night doubleheader. The virtual tie for first in the AL Central going into that big weekend series. Here it's 3-2 Cincinnati, and Ramirez comes through. It's 3-3. Second RBI hit in as many tries in the ball game. Came on a 1-2 pitch.
I tell you, Lynn, for me, that's what separates Aramis Ramirez from a lot of the power hitters in the middle of lineups around the National League. With 2 strikes, he's content to drive that ball to the opposite field. A lot of power hitters are not willing to give up their pull power to take that base hit to the opposite field and drive home a run. But a perfect example right there of Aramis Ramirez just going with the pitch, taking what the pitcher offers, driving in a big run.
So a new ball game. To Bradley. He's been behind the count both at bats. Struck out his first time. I'd like to think a run an inning will get it done today. The key is that the Cubs keep doing that even after this 3rd inning. Bradley trying to keep it alive for Soriano. And a 1-2 pitch. Fastball high. "46th home date for the Cubs. The wind has only blown out now 11 times all year, including today. The statistics show that over the course of most seasons, the wind only blows out about 40% of the time here at Wrigley Field. And this year, even less than that. And seasonably cool temperatures. Not today, nice and warm. Bradley has struck out both times, but Ramirez got it done with an RBI single, and it's 3-3 after 3. William Menard's field dirt. This is the easy part to do. After the 3 big concerts, and this field back in baseball shape. That guy wearing your kilt?
Send it to the dry cleaners. You never know what happens after you drop it off at the dry cleaners.
Yeah. Top, rather bottom of the Reds order, and there's a base hit into left center by the catcher Hannigan. He's 2 for 2. Time for the Aflac trivia question. Of the 4 perfect games involving either the Cubs or the Sox, how many have been thrown in Chicago? And the answer coming up.
You have a guess?
Well, I would, but I know the answer. Let's see. Of the 4, I know one of them was at Dodger Stadium. It was the last time I believe the Cubs were no hit. Right? Sandy Koufax at Dodger Stadium back in 1965. Inside to Alex Gonzalez, 2-0. So I would say the maximum could be 3. Cubs with a run in each of the first 3 innings. Aaron Harang, who's on deck, he had a 3-run homer for all the Reds' runs. That was in the second. How about Ramon Castro? Caught Burley yesterday for the first time. Kind of all downhill from there, isn't it? Ramirez left his feet briefly. They get 1, but that's it. So 1 out in the inning.
Ramirez made a nice play to get to that ball, but then lost his balance a little bit right there. Had trouble getting back to his feet. That eliminated any chance for the double play, but they do get the lead man second base. Well, they certainly won't ask him to bunt, will they? Power hitter like this.
Yeah. Rang gets it down, and Lee will throw to Fontenot. A pitcher's dream day at the plate. A 3-run homer and a sac bunt.
We talked about the Reds' aggressiveness offensively today. A lot of first pitch swinging, which usually plays into a pitcher's hands. You want teams to swing at that first pitch. You just have to make sure you execute some kind of a quality pitch with some movement on it and hopefully get easy ground balls.
Strike 1 to Dickerson. Hitting .318 over his last 29 games. Held up that time, 1-1. Go ahead run at second. Alex Gonzalez is there. Big story today in baseball is the Cardinals reportedly have acquired slugger Matt Holliday from the Oakland A's. They assume he would play left. So it's Holliday, not Halliday, the pitcher with Toronto. At Holliday in a big park in Oakland, OPS about 100 points less than his career numbers, which include a lot of time at Coors Field. That would be a pretty significant acquisition.
Cardinals had Troy Gloss playing some left field on his rehab assignment in the minor leagues. I guess that kind of eliminates any idea of Troy Gloss playing left field.
Just tell Troy you might want to get your third baseman's mitt again. So Mark DeRosa, Julio Lugo, and now Matt Holliday. As the Cardinals gear up for the stretch run. Just missed 3-2 on Dickerson. Taveras would hit next if Dickerson reaches. Third baseman Brett Wallace, a prospect in the Cardinal organization, reportedly a part of that deal. 3-2, swing and a miss, struck him out. And the Reds' fourth is over. It's still 3-3 as we go to the bottom of the inning. Be a question of the 4 perfect games involving the Cubs and Sox, how many have been pitched here in Chicago? Well, if you asked that question before yesterday, it would have been 0. The only one.
There you go.
The only perfect game in the history of this city. The Naps became the Indians. 1908. The White Sox were the victims of a perfect game. So here's a question. I think Luke Stuckmeyer went around asking some of the Cubs, and in particular the pitchers, what's more impressive? In terms of, well, the 2 best games pitched in this city have to be the Kerry Wood 20 strikeout, 1-hit performance against the Astros in '98, and then the Burley perfect game yesterday. Which one's more impressive? That's not an easy answer. I think one speaks to just thorough domination in the 20 strikeout game, and the 7 balls that were outs were put in play. But it's hard to beat perfection. I guess the only thing better than that would be a perfect game with 27 strikeouts.
There you go.
What do you think?
The perfect game is a little more democratic. You get the rest of the team involved. You need some plays made behind you, and certainly Dwayne Weiss made a perfect game-saving play yesterday.
Bill Pappas got within a strike of a perfect game in 1972.
To get a major league lineup to strike out 20 times. I mean, these guys, this is what they do for a living. Whether they're in a slump or whether they're in a hot streak, this is what they do for a living. They swing a bat, they hit a baseball. To think that a pitcher can be so dominant on a given day that he can strike out 20 of the 27 outs in the game is mind-boggling.
I like the way you put it. I think it's yesterday's performance a little bit more democratic, and the entire team can take a ton of pride, as did the Cubs when Kerry Wood did what he did against Houston. But a lot of it was just pitcher and catcher that day.
Yep.
Sandy Martinez was Wood's battery mate. Soriano turns on it and hits it foul. That flag commemorates that big day back in May of '98.
Not to take anything away from Castro whatsoever, because I'm a former catcher and I give a lot of credit to the catchers anytime the pitchers do anything good. But Mark Burley's the kind of guy that you could just set up a pitch back behind home plate and he'll aim at the corners of the strike zone. He'll keep the ball down with a little bit of movement. He told his catcher, though, you just hang the fingers and I'll throw it. I don't know that he shook him off the whole afternoon.
Well, he doesn't want to shake him off because he works so fast.
Yeah, doesn't want to slow the game down.
I heard something today that they said he was on the mound for like 25 minutes, 30 minutes. They added up the actual time while the Rays were at the plate. And by the way, the Rays were second in the majors in on-base percentage going into that game. American League history. Everybody thinks about Don Larson in the World Series for the Yankees in '56. Owen Wells with the Yankees. Beats up Encarnacion, but he's able to make the play. He kicked up on him.
I remember the David Wells game only because it took the entire roster to lift him up and carry him off the field on their shoulders.
And you remember the Randy Johnson perfect game, which was the previous 27 up, 27 down, because you were the manager.
Yeah, and I guess on that list, Tom Browning would be the guy that would jump out, very similar to Mark Burley in that he pitched to contact. He wasn't overpowering. He didn't get a lot of strikeouts. He just threw the ball over the plate and let his defense work behind him. But for that day, everything was working well.
1-0 on Fontenot. Mike Holmert into right center in the second. Other 2 RBIs off the bat of Aramis Ramirez with a double and a single. Orang trying for his first, only 1-2-3 inning, but first inning that he's been able to blank the Cubs. Giving up a run in each of the first 3. Coy Hill on deck. 3-1 on Fontenot. Broke his bat as he's going to ground out to Phillips. Sawed him in half on it. That was a 3-1 pitch.
3-1 pitch. Well, I'd be curious to talk to some of the White Sox players and some of the Tampa Bay Rays players, for that matter, how early on in the ball game they felt that Burley was doing something special. Sometimes it kind of sneaks up on you. The guy will go through the first 3 or 4 innings of the game and he's getting outs, but his stuff doesn't look like anything special. His command doesn't look like anything special. Then suddenly you look up and it's the 8th and 9th inning and the guy's got a no-hitter going. Other times the guy looks real dominant right out of the chute. And that was the case with Randy Johnson down in Atlanta back in '04.
Well, that's a seeing eye single right there for Coy Hill. Both Votto and Phillips got close to it. But here was the catch of the year, Dwayne Wise, who, by the way, came in for defense in the 9th. And I remember hearing it on the radio saying, is Ozzie sure he wants to do that and mess up the mojo? Well, yeah, that's why.
He had to run about 20 or 25 steps from his position in center field to get over there in the gap. Not only got up above the fence to keep the ball in the ballpark, but then lost it on the way down and made the barehanded catch.
Wells hits it well, but Taveras is there to make the catch, and for the first time they don't score in an inning against Harang. 3-3 after 4.
Don't forget to check out my Cubs blog, Bricks and Ivy, at csnchicago.com, brought to you by Toshiba.
Thank you, Luke. Huge crowd at Wrigley Field, as always, as the Cubs begin a 7-game homestand. Little did they or we know that the next team coming in would be tied for second with the Cubs, the Astros, but they will be without Lance Berkman. They'll come in Monday. Reds right now kind of on the fringe of the race. They're in 5th place, 6 out, which doesn't sound like a lot, but again, they have 4 teams ahead of them. It's the tightest division in baseball. The last place team's 8.5 out. The Pittsburgh Pirates. Willie Taveras leading off the 5th. Another hypothetical for you. We showed you Holiday, not Halliday. If you had your choice, which of those guys would you take?
I'll take the pitcher.
The one reason you take the hitter, and it's more of a philosophical debate, is you get a guy every day as opposed to every 5 days. But I think you're right. I think Roy Halladay is pretty special.
I mean, we've kicked it around ourselves on the bus rides and the plane rides and between innings up here in the booth as we near the trade deadline. The Cubs have obviously struggled offensively this year, so on the surface you would say, well, if the Cubs did get any help at the deadline, they need to get a hitter. They need to get a hitter. But the other way to look at it is, if you're not scoring a lot of runs, keep the other team from scoring. Maybe add another frontline pitcher or a left-handed arm in the bullpen or something along that nature, and just accept the fact that we're not going to score 8 or 9 runs a game like we did last year. We might only score 2 or 3, but let's make those 2 or 3 stand up.
Bullpen really has come into its own lately. Might see the Cubs try to add another lefty out there. B.J. Ryan now in their minor league system. We'll see. Votto takes ball 1.
I just want to see the Cubs play a 3-game series against the Cincinnati Reds and keep Joey Votto in the stadium. Every time we face the Reds, this guy just puts on a show.
Now, when he went on the DL with stress, the reason wasn't really given other than dealing with stress and anxiety. He flies out to Bradley. And only recently did Votto open up a little bit about the depression he dealt with after his father died last year. It got so bad he had to go to the hospital a couple of times after some massive anxiety attacks, and he said he felt like he was going to die. I mean, it was very serious. And Bob, when he went on the DL, he was hitting like 360. So it wasn't as if his on-field performance was suffering, but he was big time and got away from it for a few weeks, and now he's back.
We've seen countless examples of that over the history of this game when guys have off-field issues that they're dealing with, but yet that 3 hours of a ball game every day gives them a little bit of relief, something they can do they're very familiar with and get their minds off things that aren't as pleasant.
Phillips flies to Fukudome. So the pitchers have settled in a little bit. 3-3 halfway home here in game 1. Like we might see a 12-11 type game, and we still could, but the starting pitchers have settled in a little bit.
Well, settled in, started to hit their spots with a little more regularity. Randy Wells keeping the ball down with a lot more consistency, and Aaron Harang throwing a lot more two-seamers than we've ever seen him throw in the past.
So it's the top of the order now for the Cubs. Kosuke Fukudome, Ryan Theriot, and Derek Lee. 1 ball, 1 strike. A big righty coming back. A fly to deep center. Tavares on the dirt. 1 out. If you've never been to Wrigley Field, have been 1,000 times, a guided tour of the friendly confines has something for everyone. Each tour includes visits to places like the press box, clubhouses, dugouts, and much more. Tours are available on select dates throughout the season. Tickets are $25, and a portion of the proceeds benefit Cubs designated charities. For more info or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Breaking ball strike. They had a little fun in Philadelphia with a couple of fans eating ice cream. This is not a bad day to have some ice cream. Saw some nachos and cold beverages earlier.
Although you'd probably have similar troubles with the ice cream cone in that it might melt fast today. Two and one. Deep breath by Harang. He rocks and fires. And catches a plate. And another slow breaker. 2-2. Harang beat the Cubs here at Wrigley Field on April 23rd. 7+ innings, 1 unearned run. That was it. Theriot fans, 4th K for Harang. Slider low and away from Harang that time. Well, he's really taken a lot of velocity off of all of his pitches. I mentioned his fastball in the past used to be in the low to mid 90s. This year it's in the mid 80s consistently with the heater. Occasionally he'll touch 87 or 88. But appropriately he's taken a little bit off of his breaking stuff as well. If you lose 4 or 5 or 6 miles an hour on your fastball, but you throw your changeup and your breaking ball the same speed as you always have, it's not that much of a difference for a hitter to make the adjustment. So if you tend to lose a little bit off your fastball, you have to take a little bit more off your off-speed pitches to make them effective.
You gotta have the hot dog or the Polish or the brat, whatever it is, before you dip into the ice cream. Italian sausage. Yummy. Just missed. Harang starting to get his command, working right around the edges of the strike zone. It's 3-1 on Lee. Good hack, 3-2. When Harang missed in the first inning, it seemed like he missed by a lot. Now when he's missing, it's a lot closer.
And missing in his favor more often. Instead of making those mistakes over the big part of the plate and up in the zone, he's missing further away from the middle of the strike zone.
Fly ball for Lee out in the left center. Gomes circling, catching on the move, and that's it. So the Cubs go down 1-2-3 for the first time. On to the 6th. It's a 3-3 tie. Edwin Encarnacion takes ball one low from Randy Wells, who's battling Aaron Harang today. All the runs to this point were back in the first 3 innings. Gomes and Hannigan also in this inning. If anybody gets on, Alex Gonzalez. Bounding ball foul. Well, we had a great time once again yesterday out at Cantini Golf Course. Swinging away with Len and Bob sweepstakes. A perfect day to play golf. The round of golf we played was a little less than perfect, but we had a great time with Mike and Mary Jo Murphy, the winners from Wheaton, Illinois, which is where the golf course is. We want to thank them. Andrew Luthane and the Chicago District Golf Association, Patrick Lynch from Cantini, Brad West, Tom Harriet, and everybody at Comcast Sportsnet. We had a wonderful time.
Oh, by the way, that drive you hit on number 17, the ball was laying out in my parking spot here at Wrigley. So,
yeah, I just missed it. As Encarnacion takes the first walk of the day for either team, leads off the inning. A couple of nice drives.
Now, we know when we're out of our element, we just have a good time, and we had the right pair to have a good time with yesterday, Mike and Mary Jo. A lot of laughs. And they got a nice event coming up out there at Cantini too. I know we have a lot of golfers, amateur and otherwise, that watch our telecast. Kevin Streelman, who kind of got his start out there at Cantini, he's playing on the PGA Tour now. He's going to be out at Cantini on August 7th conducting a clinic. It starts at 9:30 in the morning, runs till 2:15 in the afternoon, and space available. It's free, but they suggest that you call ahead out there to Cantini to get a registration, just in case there's an overflow crowd. But Kevin Streelman, a hometown boy, makes good.
Beautiful course. 1-1 on Gomes. Talked about Randy his last time out 6 days ago in Washington. Wasn't his best outing of the year. 4 runs in just 5 innings, but he gave up 2 in the first, 2 more in the second. Was able to settle down, and his offense came back and got him a win. 9 quality starts out of his first 13, even though that was not a quality start. He had a few early on quality starts I'm talking about when he didn't win. Aaron Heilman just got up. Catch with Edgar Tovar. It's full 3-2. We'll see if Dusty wants to create some action here with his runner at first.
Guessing he probably will. You're approaching the bottom of this Cincinnati Reds batting order. You want to make something happen before you get down to that pitcher spot.
He does go, and that one's bounced over Wells. The play has to go to first. Fontenot to lead. Tomorrow, Cubs baseball is back here on Comcast Sportsnet as Derek Lee and the Northsiders take on central rivals, the Reds. Coverage begins with BMW Cubs pregame live. Cubs hosting the Reds tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. for the pregame right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Kevin Hart will move up a day in place of Ted Lilly, who has a sore shoulder, and right-hander Johnny Cueto will go for Cincinnati. Couple of shots now for the Reds to get the lead again. Runner at second, one out, inside to Hannigan, who's 2 for 2 with a run. Strikes from Randy Wells today. First walk came in this inning. He hopes it doesn't come back to bite him. It was a leadoff free pass. It's normally lead to bad things. Squib foul, and former Cub Billy Hatcher will pick it up, first base coach for the Reds.
Good changeup that time from Randy Wells. That's a pitch that has really come a long way since he got to the major league level. He was basically a sinker slider pitcher when he was called up, but with each successive outing he's getting more and more confidence in that straight changeup.
Edinson Volquez on the DL, but through a side session today. With the Blues Brothers glasses on. Bouncer foul. Two on Hannigan. One out. High fly ball. Fukudome with a beat on it. He'll get there. Runner tagging. That's Encarnacion, and he's at third. 2 outs.
Well, out to have a word with his pitcher Randy Wells, with the number 8 hitter Alex Gonzalez at the plate and Aaron Harang in the on deck circle. Nobody warming up for the Reds at this point. Even though Harang has a 3-run homer in this game, I would much rather take my chances with Aaron Harang and runners at first and third and 2 outs than Alex Gonzalez in this situation. He is recently returned from the disabled list. Today is his first game back, but he's an offensive player. He's used to swinging the bat.
Right center, Bradley has it. Leadoff walk, and fortunately for Randy Wells, it did not come back to haunt him. Still 3-3. On May 3rd, the Cubs retired the number 31 in honor of two of the greatest pitchers to ever wear a Cubs uniform, Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins and a future Hall of Famer Greg Maddux. For a limited time only, Cubs fans can purchase their very own commemorative painting of Jenkins and Maddux. Each painting is signed by the artist and individually numbered. Order yours today at Cubs.com. That was a great day. Fergie and Greg. Number 31. Bottom 6, 1 ball, no strikes to Ramirez, who has had a big day. RBI double, RBI single, 2 for 2. Deep drive to left for Aramis, and it will go back of the bleachers. 4-3 Cubs. He is a triple away from the cycle. Well, this is a guy the Cubs missed in the middle of their order.
Heineken home run replay, the 4th bomb that Ramirez has hit against Aaron Harang in their respective careers. An off-speed pitch that was a little bit down. Boy, anytime you see that kind of extension from a power hitter, it's got a chance to go a long way.
Second lead of the day for the Cubs. 6th homer of the year for Ramirez. 0-2 again on Bradley. The 0-2 is downstairs, 1-2. Lead-off home run to give the Cubs a 4-3 advantage. Smoke past Gonzalez, so Bradley with his first hit today got down 0-2 in all 3 at bats, but came back, got it to even this time, and then hit one really hard up the middle on the ground. Baby steps.
They got the barrel on that one. He's been getting jammed a lot from the left side of the plate. That time able to get the good part of the bat on the ball and line it back up the middle.
Low and a fastball to Soriano, 1-0. Red starters got pounded in LA. Nobody went 6 full innings. Everybody gave up at least 5 runs. Harang has allowed 4 as he gets into the 6th today. Their bullpen has been good all year, but in the second half, a 2.49 earned run average. Bob Beck, one of the Ho-Ho Cams here in attendance, and looks like he's eating some ice cream. He's taking his time. Good idea. At the cup.
Yeah.
As opposed to the cone. Listening to Pat and Ron.
We assume he's listening to Pat and Ron. May have some Kings of Leon dialed up there or something. Kind of inspirational rock and roll music.
Get some AC/DC.
Yeah. Maybe some Rascal Flats. I'm pretty sure Bob's listened to Pat. You got it right.
Floater right center, base hit. Bradley stopping at second. Might get some stirring in the visitors' bullpen. In fact, Juan Lopez, I think, just went and grabbed the phone, the coach down there.
Jam shot for Soriano, but because of the depth that the Reds outfielders play, it dropped in easily in front of Taveras out there in center field.
Screwballer Daniel Ray Herrera gets up. Foul tip, strike one. Would like a little bit of separation here. The biggest lead they've had, and it's been twice, has been one.
They give Fondo a lot of room in that gap in right center field. Willie Taveras, the center fielder, is shaded several steps over into the gap in left center.
Maybe a little bit of a perfect game hangover today for the White Sox, who dropped game one in Detroit 5-1. But actually, they faced Justin Verlander, so I don't think the hangover had anything to do with it. 9 innings, 1 unearned run. So he went the distance through 127 pitches as he beat Jose Contreras. Big win for Detroit. They're back in sole possession of first place, 1 up on the White Sox. Another shot tonight.
Now, Justin Verlander can make you feel like you're playing with a hangover, even if you got a good night's sleep.
So right now, this is the only game going on in the big leagues. Everything else is tonight. And the hands fouled off. Still 1-2 to Fontenot.
Well, Harang and Hannigan just steadily pounding away at the inside part of the plate on Mike Fontenot. Well, 2 strikes. It's a little bit late now to try to make any kind of an adjustment, but occasionally a hitter, you'll see him as that pitcher goes into his delivery, step in the bucket, open up a little bit early to get to that inside pitch. Well, with 2 strikes, Mike's just going to battle right now. Just hope that Harang makes some kind of mistake out over the plate where he can drive the ball. Battle and foul off any borderline pitches.
Two. Hill next. So an 8-pitch battle already. Cubs lead on Ramirez's leadoff blast here in the 6th inning. 3rd hit of the day. 3rd RBI of the contest. Another 2-2. This one popped into right center. Dickerson running, catching. Runners hold. So Harang wins the battle, but Fontenot bloats that pitch count. 110. Harang nearing the end of his day.
That gap in right center. It was wide open for Mike Fontenot, but quickly closed as Chris Dickerson used his speed to get over there and catch that little floater.
Cubs are coming off a 5-2 road trip. They'd like to at least duplicate that record on this 7-game homestand. And a long trip. Well, the week and a half coming up after this stay. In Florida, Cincinnati, and then 5 days and 4 games against the Rockies in Denver. Old foul.
Well, it's easy to pack for Florida. Just some flip-flops, a bathing suit, maybe a t-shirt or two, but to load up for the rest of the trip.
Looks like it's going to be hot in Cincinnati, and it'll be hot in Denver during the day, but it cools off at night even this time of the year.
Marlins just kind of hanging around in that National League East. 6.5 games out of first place, tied with the Atlanta Braves behind the Phillies. They're 2 games over 500. Colorado Rockies have really turned things around under Jim Tracy, but still sit 9 games behind the Dodgers, front running out there in the West.
The Rockies currently lead the wild card. Cubs are actually closer to first in their division than they are in the wild card standings. 3-1 on Hill with Wells on deck. Who could go to the pinch hitter? Let's see. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Harang set at the belt. Now he comes to the plate inside. Ball 4. That's his first walk, and Michael Hoffpauir is going to bat for Wells, which may force Dusty to go to his lefty. We'll see here what Dusty wants to do as Harang is behind the mound and no movement in that dugout. Well, here comes Dick Pole.
It's not always easy. It's just saying, well, they sent up a left-handed hitter. We have to bring in our left-handed pitcher, because Lou could very easily then counter with Jake Fox or Jeff Baker or Reed Johnson, one of his right-handed bats for Michael Hoffpauir against the left-handed throwing Daniel Ray Herrera. So a lot of information to put into the computer before you make the decision about what kind of move you want to make.
Randy Wells right at the edge of another quality start at the minimum requirement. 6 innings, 3 runs. So the bases are loaded, and Hoffpauir takes a strike on the outside corner. Harang from the windup on an 0-1 pitch, fouled back 0-2.
Harang working out of the windup with the bases loaded. Nobody really holding Alfonso Soriano on out there at second base. Anything hit to the outfield should easily score 2 runs in this situation. Once again, the Reds outfielders playing out on Waveland and Sheffield right now.
He struck him out. A little extra heat on the fastball. At 93 the last couple of pitches.
I think Harang probably realizes the end is in sight for his outing, so whatever gas he's got left in the tank, he's going to show the Cubs hitters his best fastball and best breaking ball in this inning.
Nothing in 1 to Fukudome. They're hoping to get catcher Giovanni Soto back around the first week of August, which should help the offense. Coy Hill's done a really nice job back there in Soto's absence. He was starting to heat up with a bat when the oblique injury put him on the DL. Jarrett Burton now up with Herrera. A 1-1 to Coast Case high, 2-1. Send out get well wishes to Gracie Goodman, watching in the hospital in Bloomington, Indiana, as she recovers from surgery. Ground ball to Phillips, easy hop. That's the inning. Ramirez giving the Cubs their second lead today with a leadoff home run. It's 4-3 Cubs to the 7th. Cubs Post Game Live. Get highlights of all the action, analysis from Todd Hollandsworth, and check in on Lou's post game remarks. Don't miss Lou's Cubs Post Game Live immediately following the game right here from Wrigley Field on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Now into the bullpen the rest of the way. A 1-run lead. Aaron Heilman will take over, and he'll face a pinch hitter, Adam Rosales, batting for Harang. Ball one. Adam was born in Chicago, attended Maine High School in Park Ridge. We'll line up ticket requests from family and friends for this weekend. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Award-winning director Robert Zemeckis, Chicago native, will conduct our 7th inning stretch. He might have some help as well. Ground ball, and the short hop played nicely by Ramirez. A little bobble, but it was hit hard, so he had plenty of time.
Talk about third base all the time being a reaction position. You don't really get an opportunity to take too many steps in either direction. You just have to react, especially to those hard hit balls. And that time Ramirez reacted properly and smothered that short hop, able to stay with it and get an easy out at first.
Dickerson 0 for 3, reached down an error and stole a base in the second. 0-1. Oh, and 2 now. Andy Wells made one big mistake today, and that was a 3-run homer by the pitcher Harang. Wells with an opportunity for the win. Harang can only end his 6-game losing streak if the Reds can score at least twice here in this 7th inning. Marshall up.
You know why he's warming? Just in case the Reds get something cooking before we get to that Joey Votto spot in the lineup for the Reds.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3, 2 gone. A good changeup from Heilman.
Not only the change of speeds, but a lot of lateral movement on that pitch. That started almost in the middle of the plate and ended up off the corner outside.
Ramirez in on the grass. Taveras looks at a fastball outside, 1-0. He's 1 for 3. 2-0. You don't want to walk Willie Taveras with that guy you mentioned, Votto, on deck.
I'm sure at some point in this 3-game series we will see Willie Taveras try to bunt for a base hit. That's a big part of his offensive arsenal.
Shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and took a strike. 2-1. Signed a 2-year deal to come to the Reds in the offseason. Ground ball to second. This should do it here in the 7th. They go 1, 2, 3. Time for the stretch.
For Take Me Out to the Ball Game, in town for the Christmas Carol Train Tour, Chicago native and film director Robert Zemeckis.
All right, fans. Let me hear you sing the Dickens out of this. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, so it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Hey! Let's get some more runs! Let's get some runs!
Wednesday, July 29th at 1:20. Kids get to the ballpark early. The first 5,000 children 13 and younger will receive a Cubs home batting helmet. Compliments of Pepsi. New pitcher for the Reds, Nick Massett, formerly of the White Sox. We're with Robert Zemeckis, Chicago native. And Academy Award-winning director as Terrio grounds out to first base. Robert, thanks for stopping in. And who'd you have with you? These guys in those nice suits.
Oh, those are the, that's Mr. Dick Cook. He's the president of the motion picture group of Walt Disney, and Mr. Alan Bergman, and my fellow partners, producers Steve Starkey, Jack Rapke.
Well, you guys sang it very well.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about these guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those guys. I don't know who the other guy.
Oh, no,
some other guys in suits?
Those were not the head of the Disney company. Those guys. I thought you meant. See, that's a term we have in Hollywood. Suit.
Right. I've heard that term before. Right? Yeah.
No, these.
We'll see your first pitch.
Oh, okay.
Very nice. There, those are the guys.
Yeah, there's Mr. Cook. Yeah, that's Mr. Cook. There he is. Very good. Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about the guys you sang with.
Oh, those are the Dickens singers. Those are the those are professional Christmas Carol singers. They were down with us at Union Station this morning, where we inaugurated the Chicago stop for the Christmas Carol train tour.
So you brought in some ringers. That's what you're saying, right? You brought in some professionals.
Oh yeah, no, it all worked out great. There's a whole theme going on there.
Runner at first, 1 out. Cubs lead 4-3. Here's a guy who's had the big day with 3 hits and 3 RBIs, 2 of them of the go-ahead variety. And now time call. So Christmas Carol comes out in November, right? November 6th.
Yep.
Jim Carrey star in more than one role.
He plays a total of 8, but Scrooge at a lot of different ages in the Three Ghosts.
What was Jim like to work with?
He's great guy, real talent, fun, complete pro. Got completely into it. He does an amazing job.
Well, Robert, we occasionally drop in somewhat obscure musical and movie references, and some not so obscure. And I think I don't remember the Castaway reference the other day, Bob, but I think I dropped that in somewhere. Oh, you know what it was? It was a guy with a long beard, kind of Tom Hanks-ish in Castaway. What was it like to direct that film?
Well, that was a wonderful film to make, but not a fun film. That was a lot of that. We were in some We were in some very stressful locations, and anytime you're working on the water, it's a lot of work.
I've never been in a plane crash. I hope to never be in one, but it looked and it felt as realistic as anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, we did that plane crash. We spent a lot of time to do it, and yeah, it was. It actually felt terrifying when we were doing it. It was scary.
2 outs in the inning as Massett strikes out Ramirez. And you've worked with Tom Hanks a few times. Forrest Gump certainly stands out with all the Oscar awards.
Yep.
I'm sure we've referenced that movie a few times.
Many
on our
times.
broadcasts as well.
I have a question for you, though, Robert. We have your bio here, and I noticed that went to the USC School of Cinematic Arts, and you were accepted into the film school on a music video based on a Beatles song. What Beatles song?
It was Golden Slumbers, which is it's on the Abbey Road album. So I think the second to the last track on the Abbey Road album.
Why that song?
You know, I just it was talking to me, and you know, in those days that was before MTV, but that's what most budding filmmakers did. We illustrated Beatles songs, and that's what I did, and that's the film that got me into USC.
We had Michael J. Fox in the booth earlier this year. What a wonderful guy. Back to the Back to the Future movies. Do you still keep in touch with Michael?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I saw him when he got his star on Hollywood Boulevard. I think it was about a year ago or something like that. And, yeah, no, he's really struggling with the whole Parkinson's thing he's got. But he's got a great guy, and he's got just a great attitude toward life.
2 strikes on Bradley. Bottom 7, Cubs 4. Reds 3. Carlos Marmol up in the home pen, getting ready for the 8th. Too many better places to be than the ballpark on a Friday afternoon.
And a good game.
And a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
You spend any time in the bleachers today? If you had, you probably wouldn't have made it up here.
No,
you tend to have a lot of fun out there on a Friday.
I know, but no, we didn't make it down there.
Lee with a short lead at first. And Massett's 1-2. Will send Lee to second as it was in the dirt. It'll be a wild pitch on Massett.
A good read that time by Derek Lee. He saw that changeup was going to be in the dirt and got an immediate break from first base. We talked about Hannigan's strong throwing arm all afternoon, but even he can't get Derek Lee at second base on that wild pitch.
2-2 to Bradley, who struck out his first 2 times and then singled in his 3rd at bat. Chance here for some insurance. Lee runs well at second. That's low in the dirt. From Chicago, or where'd you grow up specifically?
Me? Oh, I grew up on the far south side. Near Pullman. Roseland was the neighborhood.
Still a lot of family and friends here in the area?
Families all in the area, yeah. They're all scattered all over the Chicagoland area. But
nice for you to be able to come home.
It is. It's great. Yeah.
3-2 to Bradley. Ball 4. That'll bring Soriano up. 2 on with 2 down. Sure, Bob, you saw the highlights of Manny Ramirez with a pinch hit grand slam. Nick Massett was the guy who gave up that home run the other night in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I made a horrible mistake. I mean, Manny Ramirez coming off the bench on Manny Ramirez bobblehead night at Dodger Stadium. You knew he wanted to do something dramatic, and Massett threw him a first pitch fastball down the middle of the plate, and Manny hit the grand slam.
They are making a poster of that grand slam. And the Dodgers are going to give it away to the first 20,000 fans. will show up to their game against Milwaukee on August 5th. Little outside, 2-0 the count. So I don't know, Robert, if you're going to be working in Mannywood anytime soon, but I think it's still technically Hollywood.
It's still Hollywood. Yeah.
Orang went 6, gave up 4 runs. Also trying to get through this 7th. That's bounced over the home dugout. My favorite big-time actor or actress you've ever worked with, and I'm sure you're probably going to name about 5 people. Could you narrow it down to 1?
Well, I mean, I've worked with some really great. I've been very fortunate. I've worked with unbelievably talented people. I mean, Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, Anthony Hopkins, John Malkovich, Jim Carrey. I mean, Michael J. Great actors.
Yeah, it is hard to pick one, no doubt about it. Well, A Christmas Carol, to be honest, the weather has felt like Christmas most of the summer, but we look forward to it opening in November, Robert.
Opening in November, yeah, and the Christmas Carol train tour is here at Union Station all weekend, and it's free.
All right.
Thanks,
Robert.
Robert. All right.
Up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. It's been Aramis Ramirez's day today. Best game since he came off the DL. Double, single, and a go-ahead home run. 3 RBIs, 3 hits. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Reed Johnson replaces Alfonso Soriano at left. He'll bat 9th in the Cubs order. And Carlos Marmol will be slotted into the 6th spot. Soriano made the final out of the bottom of the 7th. Dangerous Joey Votto. And a Cubs 1-run lead. Pitch, and Marmol wants a new ball. Good job by Aaron Heilman. A perfect 7th. Barely caught the corner on a slider to make it 2-1. You can see Votto's reaction. I think Marmol got a little bit of a break there. I don't know if that ball was ever in the strike zone, but he'll gladly take it. Three and 1.
In his last couple of outings, Carlos Marmol has shown more confidence in his fastball that usually sits around 94, 95 miles an hour, but a lot of sliders here to the first hitter he faces, Joey Votto. Fastball coming this time.
A healthy hack at it. And we'll get another chance. It's full 3-2.
I mean, that's a perfect example of how good the Marmol fastball is. That's a 3-1 count to a real good hitter, probably the best hitter in this Reds lineup, and he was tardy on that high fastball.
Lefty Arthur Rhodes. Swing and a miss. Got him on a slider. Obviously a huge out, getting Votto, who could tie it up with one swing.
And I really believe that last slider there for strike 3 was set up by the fastball on the 3-1 count. When you see a guy throwing 94, 95 miles an hour as a hitter, either subconsciously or consciously, you tell yourself, I need to speed my bat up a little bit. I was late on that fastball, and then you become susceptible to the off-speed slider.
Phillips hacks away at the first one. Bradley over. Fontenot there. It'll be Bradley in the bullpen. It's a couple of outs Phillips has made on the only pitch of the at-bat. He's had a kind of a tough week Monday in Los Angeles. He upset his manager. And he didn't hustle out of the box. Got benched for a game.
Bradley makes it look easy coming over there near those bullpen mounds down the right field line. Yeah, Phillips came up with a couple of runners in scoring position and hit what he thought was a sacrifice fly to right center field, and the ball dropped between Andre Ethier and Matt Kemp out in right center field, and only then did he try to turn it on and make it to second, and was gunned out.
That was a big momentum changer in that game. The Dodgers would come back and win it. 1-1 to Encarnacion. 4-3 Cubs in the 8th. Big swing and a miss. Very long swing by Encarnacion. Barely, umpire barely called time before Marmol let it fly. .97, but he missed low and away.
97 in that location looks like about 107. The ball looks like an aspirin tablet headed toward that outside corner. You barely get a good look at it at all as a hitter.
Pop up near the other dugout. About the first row. Barehanded by a fan.
That's one of those pop-ups that should work as a home field advantage for Derek Lee on that right side of the infield. With the wind blowing out here at Wrigley today, he knows that those pop-ups that appear to be headed for the stands have a chance to get blown back into play. So he didn't give up on it.
Another pop-up right near second base. Terrio says, I'll take it. Marmol goes 1-2-3, just like Heilman did back in the 7th. Bottom 8, Cubs 4, Cincy 3. BMW ultimate drive of the game today. Mike Fontenot with a 1-out home run in the second. That made it 3-2 as the Cubs were coming back. And Fontenot pinch hit for here. Jeff Baker against Daniel Ray Herrera, who features a screwball, and he's been effective. Ray about 2.5. Two balls, no strikes to Baker. High fly and deep for Jeff Baker. Gone. First homer as a Cub. First homer of the year. 5-3. That 7th spot and the second base position, although technically a pinch hitter in this at bat, providing a couple of homers today.
Boy, and Jeff Baker with our second Heineken home run, actually third Heineken home run. Let me count them up real quick. Third Heineken home run replay of the game. Took one of those screw balls that stayed up just above the knees and just golfed it out of here to left field. No doubt about it.
Second time in his career he's gone deep as a pinch hitter. Bill batting righty. It's a screwball right there. 0-2. Coy said, I didn't have a prayer on that one. Don't throw it again.
Like the old Bugs Bunny changeup, the one you saw in that cartoon where the batter swings at it about 9 times before the ball gets through the hitting area.
Screwball. Strike 3 on the swing. Nasty pitch.
Well, part of it is it's just such an unusual pitch. You don't see it very often. I mean, you can count on one hand, count on one finger the number of guys that feature a screwball in the National League. Daniel Ray Herrera. I mean, in effect, it's a changeup, but it is so slow, and the movement is down and away from a right-handed hitter. Complements it with that big sweeping slurvy breaking ball you saw right there. A decent fastball, but he's going to get most of his outs on that screwball.
First and maybe only at bat of the day for Reed Johnson. Came into play left in the 8th. Chicago Tribune Live later today, hosted by David Kaplan. Is running a poll on his blog, the topic that will be discussed tonight, which was the more impressive pitching performance that we talked about earlier. Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game, or the perfect game dealt by Mark Burley yesterday. You can go to chicagonow.com/KAP, K-A-P, to vote. Unfortunately, with a vote like that, I think a lot of it will just come right down the line of whether you're a Cub fan or a Sox fan. And I'm sure Cap, I hate to speak for him, but I'm sure he would encourage everyone out there to maybe take your Cubs or Sox cap off and just talk about pitching performance. Johnson takes ball 4. I know that's hard to do.
I thought it was a real show of class by the Rays in that ball game yesterday to stand and applaud at the end of the ball game. I mean, you go out there and for 2 or 3 hours you do battle and you try to do your best to beat the other team and the opposing pitcher, but at the end of the day, when you see a performance like that, to use that overworked cliche, you just have to tip your cap and appreciate what Mark Burley accomplished yesterday.
Security, remove that hat, please. Runner at first, 1 out. Here's a pitch. Bunted by Fukudome. Herrera will throw. Votto gets it in time. Cubs Destinations, a preferred baseball road trip provider of the team, provides fans with the most unique VIP road trip experience available. Each package includes great tickets, first-class hotel accommodations, a tour of the ballpark, and a private meet and greet with a current Cubs player. For more information, visit Cubs.com. Dusty Baker is out. Ryan Theriot coming up. He's going to go to a right-hander. That's Jared Burton. Runner at second, 2 outs, a run in. Cubs lead 5-3. If you're traveling and can't watch your Cubs on TV, you can always catch a game on your computer with MLB.tv. It's the ultimate baseball experience, featuring 100 out-of-market games per week, live on your computer, and catch those you missed on demand. For more details, visit Cubs.com. Baseball is always on. Jared Burton makes his 31st appearance. Reed Johnson is at second, 2 outs. Jeff Baker, a pinch hit home run to start this 8th inning. Cubs' 4th pinch hit home run of the year. Ryan is nothing for 4. Takes strike 2. Make sure you go to Cubs.com. There's an auction for Cubs Care. It's lunch with Ryan Theriot. Go over to the ballpark with him then. Hit, pitch, and field. Basically a baseball clinic fantasy. Cubs.com. Go to the auction section to bid, and for more details. All benefiting Cubs Care. In the dirt, smothered by Hannigan. So get 4 tickets to that night's game.
And I hope the lucky winner gets to pick the spot for lunch. It's a place with a tablecloth and silverware.
Yeah, well, they'll get that at the Captain Morgan Club.
There you go.
Back up the middle. Gonzalez can't stop it. Johnson scores 6-3.
Not always how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. A little topper back over the mound. Gonzalez gives it a good effort. Across at a very shallow angle from his shortstop position, unable to cut that ball off, and Reed Johnson trots home with another run.
Ontario has 7 RBIs now since the break. That's funny. Whenever you see a pitch in the dirt, they immediately throw the ball out of play. But Jared Burton just threw a pickoff toss in the dirt to first. He still has a ball.
Back in the day, way back when I played, we kept a close eye on the catcher as he threw the ball down to second base between innings after the pitcher took his 8th warm-up toss. There were certain catchers around the game that were known to short hop that throw to the second baseman because that ball would end up back on the mound to start the next inning with a big old scuff on it. So we would always alert the on-deck hitter, keep an eye on the throw down to second after the warm-up pitches, and if he bounces it, make sure to ask for a new baseball. It's almost unnecessary anymore, though. Every ball that gets a speck of dirt on it gets thrown out of the game. One thing that's accomplished, though, we haven't heard any talk of doctoring of baseballs by pitchers in a long time.
Ontario runs and gets in. A career high 3 steals on Wednesday in Philly. Off and running, first time he gets on today.
14th of the season for the Rye. Got a really good jump against Jared Burton. The pitch to home plate was in the dirt. The throw to second base was in the dirt. Looked like Brandon Phillips took the worst of that one.
Yeah. And we would assume that ball was thrown out of play in the dirt twice. High in the air, center field. Taveras back, running out of room, out of here. A 2-run homer. They've busted it open now. 8-3 is 19th. Fourth homer for the Cubs in this one.
Another Heineken home run replay. A slider that stayed in the middle of the plate, down for Derek Lee. Went down and golfed it high in the air to center field. Looked like Taveras might have had a play on it initially, but got up in the juniper bushes out there in center field.
Line shot deep to left, over goes. Banging off the wall. Come on, Aramis, how about a triple? Keep going, keep going. Safe at second. Keep running. So a 4-hit day for Aramis. Well, that ball had triple written all over it. Come on.
Boy, that ball was hit extremely hard also. This one on a line to left field. Boy, Johnny Gomes, I mentioned earlier, a guy not known for his defense. He has been tested in every possible direction today. Ramirez a little slow making the turn at first, a little trick slide at second base. Gets in with his second double of the game.
Hard strike to Bradley. Samardzija has joined Kevin Gregg now, with the Cubs leading by 5. Right back to the pitcher, Burton. Huge 4-run inning. So the Cubs do get that separation, leading by 5 as we head off to the 9th. Cubs 8, Reds 3. Trying to get this homestand started off on a winning foot. Andres Blanco will play second with Kevin Gregg in a now non-save situation. We saw Jeff Samardzija get up. I don't know if he was going to be ready. And I think with Gregg already warm and ready to go, he decided to go with his closer.
I think if that inning might have gone on for a couple more hitters, Jeff Samardzija probably would have been ready to come into the ball game, but not enough time to get loose.
1-0 on Gomes. A pop-up for Derek Lee. The producer of Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet is Bob Albrecht. Our director, Dave Turner. Our associate producer filling in for Tamara Anderson today. Good to have Kat Lysick with us. Our stage manager in the booth, Christine Charbonneau. Chris Kettner is our technical director. The tech manager, Comcast Sportsnet, Mark Harper. Our senior executive producer is Jim Corno Jr. Great work by our entire CSN crew. Been a while, a couple of weeks. The All-Star break and a road trip. But it's great to be back home. One and nothing to Hannigan. Later tonight, Joel Pinheiro against Jay Happ, who's 7-0 for the Phillies. And a tough one for the Astros tonight. They're hosting the Mets. It's Johan Santana against Mike Hampton. Base hit left field. Hannigan's 3 out of 4. That is their first hit since Hannigan's single back in the 4th inning. Milwaukee hosting Atlanta tonight. Javier Vasquez and Manny Parra, the scheduled pitchers. Gonzalez swinging away at that first pitch. Fukudome underneath. 2 outs. Former Cub Jerry Hairston Jr. will hit for Burton. To stay up late for this one tonight, Bob. Josh Johnson and Clayton Kershaw. That'll be a good one. Marlins and Dodgers.
I gotta have a good reason to stay up late. You know, I need my beauty rest.
Yeah, we have an early one tomorrow.
What a bizarre afternoon for the Cubs pitching staff. I mean, the bullpen has been nails. Everybody that's come out of that pen has put zeros on the board today. And I mean, you can't overlook it because it's in the books and he did hit it. But Aaron Harang with the 3-run homer. The rest of the Reds offense has done relatively nothing today.
And he had done relatively nothing his entire career prior to that at bat.
Go figure.
Sure, he'd be the first to tell you it hasn't gone well at the plate in his career. A home run today, but he's staring at a loss. That's fair for Hairston. That'll send Hannigan to third on a double by Hairston to keep the Reds alive for the time being.
More first pitch hacking by this Reds offense. It's very clear they're going to be aggressive not only today but throughout this 3-game series and the rest of the season. That's the kind of offense they are. You throw anything in the strike zone, doesn't matter if it's a fastball or a breaking ball, they're going to put a good swing on it on that first pitch.
Dickerson 0 for 4. 3 times he has struck out. Late on that fastball. 41,406. And pretty much everybody on their feet. Two. Outside. Don't even want to do the math, but if you did, you added it all up, Joey Votto would represent the tying run. Right now, he's still in the dugout. That's where Kevin Gregg wants to keep him. Still a couple of batters away. A 1-2 pitch, hit foul. Two and two. Johnny Cueto, Kevin Hart tomorrow. Right here on Comcast Sportsnet. We begin live at 11:30. Post game live to follow this one. Full count, 3-2. Ryan Dempster on the disabled list at the top step. I would assume he will not jump over that railing.
Big Z's right there beside him just to make sure nothing crazy happens. You know, Big Z, the voice of reason over there.
Right. Yeah. 3-2. We'll do it again. Dempster will be back in the rotation no later than Wednesday against the Astros. So that's the plan. Not sure what the status of Ted Lilly will be. We know he's not going to start tomorrow with a sore shoulder. Outside, they're loaded up for Taveras, and now Votto will jump into the on-deck circle.
Up an interesting question. Lou had Sean Marshall warming up earlier in the ball game in the event that the Reds got down to Joey Votto's spot in the order. Do you get him up again here with your closer on the mound in the 9th inning? So far, no activity in that Cubs bullpen since Kevin Gregg came into the game.
Outside, ball one.
Just get Willie Taveras and not worry about it.
That's the goal for Kevin Gregg. Broken bat. Johnson has to play the hop. And Votto will come up as a tying run. It's now 8-5. Taveras drives in two, and the Reds are very much alive. They had 2 outs when Jerry Hairston Jr. doubled into the corner, then a walk to Dickerson. Now another hit, this time Taveras.
Got right in on his hands, broke his bat, but he's able to float it out there just in front of Reed Johnson in left field. Votto has never faced Kevin Gregg before in his career. He's 1 for 4 lifetime against Sean Marshall with a home run.
It is really quiet inside the park right now. Nobody's left. And a strike, 0-1 to Votto.
He certainly didn't think so. Backdoor breaking ball from Kevin Gregg that Votto thinks didn't get back to that outside corner.
Well, remember the one Marmol threw him in his last at bat? He didn't like that one either. You can hear him grunt on the swing. 0-2. Don't ever let a power hitter tell you he's never tried to hit a home run. Because they'll tell you that, but they're lying.
That was a swing that was meant to tie the game up and get back at Mike Riley behind home plate for calling that breaking ball on him first pitch.
Three hits, a walk, 2 runs. How big do those 4 runs in the 8th look now? Gregg would have pitched differently in this inning with a tighter game, but it's tight now. Outside, 1-2. Gregg is ready for the pitch. Called strike 3. Cubs win. Wasn't easy for Gregg in the 9th. He will not get a save, but the tying run did come up to the plate, and the Cubs hold on 8-5. A lot of home runs today. This is the kind of day you need to hit home runs with the wind blowing out.